welcome to Conversations in Public Relations. I'm your host, Mary Fletcher Jones. Jeff Ghannam is our guest today, and he's going to talk to us about the National Capital Chapter of the Public Relations Society of America. Jeff has served on the board of directors for the chapter for 6 years. He is currently president-elect of the chapter, which means he'll take over as president of the chapter next year, in 2010. Over the past 20 years, Jeff has worked as a journalist and has held corporate and nonprofit communications positions. He is currently Vice President of Communications at the Biotechnology Institute, where he is responsible for leading the nonprofit organization's strategic and day-to-day communications initiatives. Let's hear what Jeff has to say about the value of membership in the Public Relations Society of America. So Jeff, thank you so much for coming in today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Jeff, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get started in public relations?
You know, I'm a very lucky person in that I think real early in life I knew what I wanted to be or do. I wanted to do something in the writing field. I think it was an 8th grade teacher of mine who took an essay of mine and entered it into a contest, and of course I won, and that connection I made, it made me feel so good about a product I produced. So I knew I wanted to get into some kind of a writing field. I ended up going into journalism, to print journalism, and eventually segueing into PR like so many of us do. I think what I really like about what I do is it helps people connect, it helps people communicate, and ultimately that's what we're all about. So I feel like I'm providing a service to my community, to my profession, and it helps me realize my life's ambition. I got a journalism degree, and so I feel like I have a skill that I'm using to its utmost.
What do you like most about your work?
It's ultimately about bringing people together. It's helping people to communicate with each other. And what could possibly be more rewarding than helping people to better understand each other? In this day and age, we have so many challenges as a nation, as a community, economic challenges, personal challenges of being overly stressed, overly worked. If we as a profession can help this nation and help our community and help ourselves personally come together, better understand each other so we can all be a better society, what a great profession to be involved in.
Tell me about your involvement with the Public Relations Society of America and the National Capital Chapter in particular.
I became involved with PRSA because I was new to the public relations profession in 2001. I have a publications, journalism background, and I sort of segued into public relations. And frankly, when I got my first job as Director of Communications for a nonprofit organization, I didn't really know that much about the public relations side of communications. I knew the journalism side. So I needed to get boned up on the profession in a hurry. And so I joined PRSA-NCC and became involved because that's the way I could really accelerate my learning curve. And so I became involved in the programs committee and then the professional development committee, which really helps put on monthly workshops, professional development workshops. And then I was treasurer for 2 years of the chapter, steadily climbing up the leadership ladder, and I was very honored to be asked to run for president this past year. And so I'm the president-elect for 2009 and will be president in 2010.
You know, today more than ever, we all have to watch our expenses. Explain to us why public relations professionals should join Public Relations Society of America. What can they get out of it?
So what I think PRSA-NCC is uniquely qualified to deliver is access to the diversity of people in PR. We have such a diversity of people here in the Washington, D.C. area. First, we're the nation's largest PRSA chapter, 1,400 or so members. But the diversity of our membership is really exciting and interesting in that we have people from PR agencies, we have government PR people, we have the association, nonprofit, we have corporate, we have a vital independent public relations alliance, independent practitioners. And we bring all these people together. We have a strong sponsorship relationship with many of our service providers. These are people who are value relationships that they need to develop with PR people, people who ultimately purchase their products, and we're happy to be a facilitator of that exchange. And that's, I think, the real strength of this chapter. We're very large, we're very diversified, and we help bring all different kinds of people together for the common goal of advancing their profession. So what we offer our members for the bang for the buck is great value in that they get to develop professionally, stay abreast of the latest developments in the profession, and they get to build relationships. They become a more valuable PR professional by being plugged into PRSA.
So what's new at the Public Relations Society of America these days?
There's a lot of exciting things happening at PRSA-NCC. In the short term, what we're trying to do is help our members negotiate this tough economic environment. We're giving them professional development, we're giving them the ability to connect and build relationships in a very cost-effective manner. Our workshops, our meetings are very cost-effective. Heck, you can go to a networking reception for $10 and you get a free drink. So we're trying to be sensitive to the tough economic environment. Helping people stay connected is ultimately the most value we can give. In the long term, we have a very exciting event happening next year. The International Conference of the Public Relations Society of America is going to be here in Washington, D.C. for the first time since 1988. That is a big deal. The world's, and definitely the nation's, leading PR professionals will be here, some 2,000 people to congregate and discuss the hottest issues in public relations. And so we as a chapter are obviously going to be a vital player, and we're helping to put on that conference. It's going to be in October of 2010, and it'll be a great time for the profession, and it'll be a great time for the profession in Washington, D.C.
Jeff, I learned so much about the Public Relations Society of America, and I really appreciate you coming in to tell us more about it.
Thank you, Mary, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell you more about the chapter.